Every time I see you, you make my heart say.
Hey you guys, Ashley K here, back with another video. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this bomb DIY Chanel jacket inspired by that crop top Chanel had. I wanted to go ahead and do it on a jacket. So what you'll need is some letters that I got from Etsy. I purchased a tape measure, an ironing board, an iron, and some scissors just in case you need to cut anything. So we're just going to jump right in. So the first thing you want to do is line up your jean jacket on the ironing board and set it up and make sure it's nice and flat on where you want the letters to be on. And actually guys, I will have a link to where I got the letters. Somebody actually custom made my letters for me, so I want to go ahead and put the link down below if you guys want to get some letters made on your own. So you want to go ahead and make sure you iron that part, make sure it's nice and flat because you want the letters to press on there. And I want to show you guys, you don't want to use any steam. Like, steam is a no-no, and you'll see that I switched the steam off of my iron. You don't want to use steam when you're using this because it can mess up your letters. So the first thing you want to do is line up your letters. Make sure it's in the middle of your jacket or wherever you're putting your letters. Make sure it's measured to the right measurements and it's nice and even, so you can get a nice seamless placement when you are putting on your letters. So I'm just measuring, making sure it's even on every side and making sure it's in the middle of my jacket, making sure it's perfect. So next, after that, I'm going to go ahead and put the transfer paper that it comes with. And guys, the letters come with everything. You don't need to purchase anything. So you go ahead and you iron in circular motions, making sure that the letters kind of press on the jacket. So you don't want to keep the iron on a certain spot for too long. You want to make sure you're doing circular motions like how I'm doing here, and making sure you're really pressing down and getting all the letters seamlessly placed on the jacket. And you want to do this a bunch of different times. Guys, I had to go through and do this like 4 or 5 different times just to make sure the letters stuck on the jacket. And I think it's because it's a denim jacket, it was a little bit difficult, but I had to go ahead and do it a few times. And you can see right now I'm letting it cool. And then I went ahead and I'm checking. I went ahead and I took the paper off and I'm checking to see my letters. And as you guys can see, they didn't stick all the way, so I had to go ahead and do another layer. And I had to go ahead and do this about, like I said, 4 or 5 different times because the letters weren't sticking fully. So you may have to go back and do this a few times, and always just making sure you go away, you're checking your work, you're peeling, you're making sure that some letters are sticking. If they're not, you go back and you do the whole process over again. So as you guys can see, that part didn't stick, so I went ahead, took my iron and did the circular motion thing over and over again until I made sure my letters stuck onto the jacket. So this is just the whole main process of this, just making sure you're going back and you're checking. If your letters aren't sticking, you have to go back and repress again. So it's a little bit time consuming, but it's worth it to get the end result. So just keep going ahead, and as you guys can see on that part, I have to go ahead and redo it. So now I'm checking again to see if my letters stuck, and it didn't stick, so I have to go back and redo it once more. And guys, like I said, I had to go back and do it about 4 or 5 different times, just making sure my letters stuck because I really wanted them to stay on place on the jacket. So like I said, you may have to keep going back and redoing it, but that's okay too. So this is I think the final time I actually peeled it back, and I was seeing that the C actually stuck. So I went ahead and kept peeling, and I realized some letters didn't stick, so I had to keep redoing it over. But once you're pretty much done with the pressing process, you just want to make sure you peel slowly when you are peeling off the plastic off of your letters. And if it's not, you may have to, like I said, as you guys can see, go back and repress. And usually when I was letting my letters cool, I let it cool for about 20-30 minutes. And then I would go back and check. and then let it cool for another 20-30 minutes. Go back and check. And then once I felt like it was pretty well done, I went ahead and I just peeled back the plastic wrap off of the letters as I was pushing it onto the jacket, if that makes sense. So I wasn't really just ripping it off. I was going slowly to making sure that all my letters stayed on the jacket and it didn't come up on the plastic. So you just want to be very careful with this part, just to make sure you don't remove anything or nothing gets like ripped off that you don't want to be ripped off. So once I have my plastic wrap all ripped off of my letters, you have to go ahead and take the transfer sheet paper and put it on top of the letters, just making sure, and running the iron over it, just making sure that they're pressed and sealed into the jacket. This is just to ensure that the letters stay on the jacket fully and they are fully seamed into the fabric of the jacket or the clothing item that you're pressing your item with. So as you can see, I'm checking, making sure my letters aren't gonna come up. And then I'll go ahead and I'll grab the transfer paper and do one full press to make sure it's nice and secure. And as you guys can see, you see me checking the instructions. You just want to make sure you follow up with your instructions, making sure you're doing the right thing, because you don't want to make a mistake and then have to redo everything all over again. So you just always want to make sure you're reading your instructions and checking your work, pretty much just to get the perfect result that you want to get. And this is just the final seal through that I'm doing. As you guys can see, I'm running through and I'm making sure my letters are pressed into that fabric. And as you can see right there, some letters got scorn because I think my iron was a little bit too hot, but you can't really see it from afar. So I was really pretty happy with my results that I had going on. And I'm actually going to show you guys how the final product looks. As you guys can see, these are my letters. And then from afar, you really can't even see the scorching of the letters. And I'm pretty happy with my result, you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is just another jacket I did the same technique to. Just showing you the different ways that you can actually do this whole letter technique. I love it. I think it's super dope for the summer and spring. And like always, guys, make sure you guys subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye.